All right. Time for hamstring focus workout. Ooh. So this will not only be a first for the channel, but also be a first for myself and Brandon. We're going to do death marches today. So you're going to take dumbbells, step forward and proceed to do a stiff-legged deadlift, step forward, stiff-legged deadlift. And basically, it's almost acting like an alternating single leg stiff-legged deadlift. But so it's death marches. We're just going to do probably a quick down and back because that should get about 10 to 12 aside. Not lunges, Brandon. Not lunges. Okay, nothing too crazy weight-wise, it's only 245, but I'm gonna go high and wide with feet placement and try to focus on just getting a really good stretch in the hamstrings. Maybe even sit in the bottom of the movement for a second. Oh, oh, my hamstrings are shaking. Oh, okay. Ooh. All right, time for some hip thrusts. Hit some glutes and hamstrings on that. My legs are shaking. Whew. Let me free. Gosh. Oh, all right. Moving on. All right, we're gonna finish with our little trick here of doing leg curls on the extension machine. Let's see. Actually, let's start there. See how it feels. All right, I'll set these, and it will be a leg day. Be a very, very, very good hamstring focus leg day. All right, that is a leg day. See you guys in the car. All right, that was a hamstring workout and a half, baby. No, that was fantastic. I will say, it's officially that time of year here in Missouri where I'm gonna have to start keeping the car talks ultra short, or at least much shorter than they normally land. Try to keep my yapping to a minimum, because it's that time of year where it gets uber freaking hot. So even if I have max AC, with my phone sitting in the phone mount, it's gonna get hot and stop recording. So gotta keep the yapathons to a decent length. So let's get into it. Hamstring workout. So if you guys have been around the channel for any amount of time, you know that hamstring focus leg days tend to look about the same just about every single time. No more than 3 or 4 exercises, maybe 4 to 5 if I'm lucky. But typically, because my hamstring focus leg days are like my take a break from squats, take a break from leg press, try to keep from front loading my knees kind of days, they don't typically have a lot of options. Today, my knees feel fine, they feel phenomenal, plus it's a hamstring day. So I took full advantage of that, having a leg press in the mix, having 2 variations of hamstring curls in the mix, trying a new exercise for myself in the death marches, which I found both challenging but enjoyable, fun. Basically, it's a walking lunge version of a stiff-legged deadlift. So there was actually a decent amount of challenge to not getting exhausted before I finished the set. There was some challenge of not letting my grip give out on the dumbbells before I finished my set. Obviously, there's that mental game of you're getting a lot of lactic acid buildup in your lower back and in your hamstrings, and you almost want to stop. So much like lunges, where when you're sitting there hitting like lunges, you got the dumbbells in your hand and you're trying not to drop them if you're going heavy enough, and you gotta make it that distance that you're walking to either hit either depending on who your trainer is, go the distance they want you to do them for, or to hit the amount of reps you're meant to hit. When I do stuff like, say, lunges, and for today's workout, death marches, I'm not the kind of person who goes, this is the distance, we're going to do it down and back exactly as the distance. It's like, no, at the end of the day, you're still, my muscle, my hamstrings don't magically grow now because I did death marches for 100 meters. No, they still are going to respond to the same stimulus they always respond to, which is a weight for a certain amount of reps. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to announce, this is the space of which I'm going to do this, and I'm going to hit this marker and then turn around and come back and just work within my own, this little area. But ultimately, it's still weight and reps. Because if I'm being completely honest, if I were to just go, I'm going to do down and backs, I would go way wider, so that my grip's not getting out, my lower back's not getting too pumped, my hamstrings aren't too sore and exhausted before I'm done. And I don't know about you guys, but especially when I first started doing things like lunges and stuff on leg days, I was terrible about remembering what foot I started on, because in order for both legs to end up with the same amount of reps, you want to finish on the opposite leg you started on. So if I started my first rep with my left leg, then I want to finish it with my right. But I've always been terrible about which one did I start with when I'm alternating, if I'm not just counting my reps. So that's why it's like, okay, this is the space I'm working in, doing a down and back through here, but ultimately the goal is 10 a leg. So if I get to a count of 20, in this case, death march reps, or on a quad day or a full leg day, lunges, if I hit 20 lunges, I know I've hit 10 a leg. So that's just me. Again, certain trainers will just tell you to go down and back a certain distance, and that's it. And to me, it's like, the way your legs get stimulated, the way your muscles are stimulated, didn't magically change. And if you're putting the distance as the metric of which you're measuring your reps, you're probably going to go wider with higher volume, so you can make that down and back instead of just going heavy for 10 to 12 reps. So that's just me. That's how I like to do stuff like that. Obviously, you guys have never seen lunges on the channel. And there's a reason for that. Because I literally cannot do them. My knees will not let me do them anymore. I used to do them once in a while on leg day, and now it's like I tried to do them body weight, and my knees just won't. I don't know what it is about what I've done to my knees over the years. The tricompartmental osteoarthritis, having stretched out ACL and having stretched out LCLs. I was told all three. So having stretched out ACLs, LCLs, and MCLs in my knees, I was straight told in both my knees in the x-rays when they're looking at my knees, when they diagnosed my, I always forget, my right one with tricompartmental osteoarthritis, I was like, do me a favor, just x-ray both, they both suck. And the doctor told me, we don't know how you've never torn them, but all three of the ligaments in both your knees are just stretched. So I don't know, I feel like everything's kind of gotten better. I'm back to getting heavy lifts in. I'm back to being able to do hack squats. I'm working my way back to being able to do barbell squats. Obviously, that hasn't really been a channel. That's been more in personal time, putting any of the work towards getting back to doing that. So hopefully on leg days I can start doing barbell squats again. But doing all this work, but lunges is one of those things, no matter how hard I've tried, I cannot get back into doing. Legitimately, my body will not let me do it. And I should have filmed myself trying to do them because like me and Brandon were talking about them. And I said, "Would you like to start doing lunges?" And he said, "Yes." I was like, "I had to bring it to you. I can't do them. The best I can do is single leg press, right? If I were to do single leg press with the mindset of I'm going to put my leg underneath that isn't doing it underneath the leg press here, and then I'm going to put the leg that is doing it, at the right angle, right foot placement, everything, that it's basically recreating for the leg on the leg press a lunge, then that's what I can do. But I just can't do lunges anymore. I don't know what it is. But enough about that. I promise to keep the car talk myself short. So, point is, fantastic hamstring day. It was 6 exercises? Hamstring curls, death marches, hamstring focus leg press, hip thrust, stiff legged deadlift, single leg hamstring curl. So yeah, 6 exercises. So that's totaling in 24 working sets. So honestly, that is a high volume hamstring focus leg days for us, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm all for discovering new exercises or trying exercises that maybe I knew about but I've never tried before. There's proof on the channel of me trying good mornings for the first time. I knew about good mornings. I always thought they were stupid. I tried them. I was right. They are stupid. Do not do them. But there's, I'm more than willing to broaden my horizons in terms of what exercises we use and everything else. So I've been sitting on the idea of doing depth marches for a while, and hitting them on a full leg day just didn't feel right because we're already doing multiple compound movements. We're already pretty exhausted. Doing just stiff-legged deadlifts and hamstring curls felt better than adding something like a depth march to it. But a hamstring only seemed like the perfect day to finally get to try them. They are definitely going to be added into our arsenal from now on of how we hit hamstrings. So look forward to that. You'll get the absolutely horrendous filming angles for that because there really is no good way to film doing those when you have no cameraman and you just got to put a tripod somewhere. But it's what it is. Hopefully, I'll just probably anytime they come up, I will probably just put some music and fast forward, speed up the clips. Because let's be honest, watching me walk down and back for 20 steps, 20 to 24 steps, 10 to 12 reps a leg isn't going to be that exciting. So we'll see, but chances are, and you guys will already know before you get to this point in the video, but chances are it will be edited with music to kind of just speed through it. So unfortunately, Brandon had a really hard time grasping how to do them, and I get it. We've never done them before. We were actually talking about today. He asked how his form was on stiff-legged deadlifts. I said, your form on those were great today. And I told him, I said, well, you're getting used to doing them. Your body knows what stabilization muscles to engage, what muscles you're intending to hit, how the form, you're getting used to it. It is an exercise you're doing almost on the regular. It is in most of our leg days. If it's a full leg day, they're probably there. If it's a hamstring leg day, a hamstring focused leg day, it's a guarantee it's there. So it's like, you're getting the reps in. So of course, you're getting better at them and you're learning the form. And, I've always critiqued this form a bit here and there. Hey, you're bending your knees a lot. You're basically doing a traditional deadlift. Make sure you keep your legs stiff. But just a slight bend in them, and don't really move it from there. Just move at the hips. And so, same thing with today with these depth marches. He's not used to them. First, he started off doing lunges, and I was like, Brandon, hey, depth marches, not lunges. And he's like, oh yeah. Walks back, with the intention of I'm doing depth marches. Jeremy showed me what these are. And still start doing lunges, and he was genuinely trying. He was trying not to bend his knees. I could see his knees weren't obviously almost touching the floor like they do in a lunge, but there was still a bend And I spent some time off camera trying to correct it between my sets, but ultimately, I was like, you know what? I've been training with him young enough to know if he's close now, he's at least getting some of the stimulus. It's not as good as it could be. It's not as deep of a stretch on his hamstrings as it could be because there's that bend in his knee that he's doing that really shouldn't be there. But as he starts getting used to these, as he starts building the stabilization muscles, you know, and learning how to cue up that exercise and how to cue into that form, I think it would be the same as with the stiff legged deadlifts. He's going to start to kind of be able to be like, hey, stiff legs, and actually do it. So hopefully that's the case, but new exercise, I really enjoyed it, had a good workout, so no complaints here. So enough yapping. All that being said, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch the video. I love and appreciate every single last one of you guys. You guys are the best. If you like the video, you like it. If you made it this far in the video and you like it and you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You made it this far already anyways. As always, all the links are in the description. I'm not going to sit here and talk about them in the car talks anymore because I already post about them in the video. You've already seen the TikTok and Instagram tags. You've already seen the HTLT plug. So I'm going to stop doing that at the end of the video. So just a heads up. All the links are in the description. You know what to do with them. Love and appreciate you guys. And I will see you tomorrow for a back workout. See you then.